Is Chong Li the current champ?
He's never been defeated. Holds all sorts of records, including the fastest KO. He killed a guy during the last Kumite.
Yep. Kicked the poor bastard right in the throat. I died right there on the platform. Chong Li stood there and watched him die.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and I've got the local movie guy back on the channel. We're going to talk about some, I don't know, a couple things that just kind of, I don't understand what's happening here. And we also have a little bit of Star Wars speculation at the end. We're going to be talking about Jamie Foxx returning to the Spider-Man universe, the MCU as Electro. And then we're going to be talking about the new sequel to The Craft, a guilty pleasure of both Fatal J and mine. And we're going to talk about the marketing, which I just don't get. All right. Obviously, joining me is the man himself, Fatal J. How you doing?
Fatal J, your friendly neighborhood black man. With great power comes great responsibility. So
I know you're more of a DC guy. You know, if we are both being honest here, you would suckle at the teat of Zack Snyder if you could. You know, you're on the caboose of the Snyder Cut. Of course, I am the leader of the Burn the Snyder Cut movement. But here today, we're going to be talking about the MCU. Now, did you watch, what was it, Spectacular Spider-Man 2 with Jamie Foxx's Electro?
Yes, and I liked it.
Wow. I saw that movie. It was so bad.
I enjoyed it.
Jamie Foxx's Electro was terrible.
Okay, you ain't lying, and I'm going to tell you why. This is what I didn't understand. He was a nerd with a gap in his tooth, and then when he got the powers and electricity going through his body, the electricity fits the gap? Come on.
Well, that was strange. There's just bad motivations.
I'm just still tipping on that
Spider-Man for no reason and decided he was going to kill him.
Yeah, he was stalking Spider-Man and lost his mind, man.
Yeah, so I don't understand. Why would you bring a character like this? It's not like basically Amazing Spider-Man 2 killed the Amazing Spider-Man franchise before it really got off. You know, we never even learned the big mysteries introduced in Amazing Spider-Man 1 about Peter Parker's parents because the movie was so bad they pulled the plug. And I do believe, not Jamie Foxx. I don't think it was any saving that role, but I do believe Electro as the villain was a big part of that.
You mean to tell me you didn't like Andrew Garfield? What's his name? Andrew Garfield?
I thought he was a really good Spider-Man, but was in bad movies.
I thought, he was a good Peter Parker Spider-Man, in my opinion.
Yeah, he had the whole. I liked when he used his little web slinger to get the girl and turn it around. He had a lot more. He felt way more like Peter Parker than the original.
Andre, whatever his name is, Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
I like him better than Tom Holland. I don't like Tom Holland.
Well, there you go. So you've got to start a Spider-Man you don't like with an Electro that I thought was a complete failure. I don't understand what's the point of bringing back this character if it failed so miserably. Does the MCU, have they run out of ideas so early on in the in their new Spider-Man franchise that they're just bringing back failed characters? Now, bringing back Jonah Jameson from the original trilogy, I think is great because that was one of the best parts of the whole movie. But I don't get this.
Wes, I'm going to tell you something. They're scared because they know the DCU is coming. The Snyderverse is coming, so they desperate. Spider-Man is their flagship character, so they banking on this.
Well, now that Iron Man's gone and Captain America's gone, you're probably correct.
But Spider-Man should have always been the flagship even before Iron Man and Captain America. So I can see.
Well, they didn't have the rights to Spider-Man movies. They had a special agreement with Sony Pictures. That's
I know
the reason he wasn't the flagship.
I know that, but I'm just saying when you think Marvel, the first character you're thinking about is Spider-Man. So they're gonna put their all into it, and that's why they tried to get him back from Sony. Because remember, Sony was supposed to take Spider-Man back and start making their own movies. They're desperate now.
Yeah, I don't get, why aren't they just doing the Green Goblin or something like this? Reprising a role that was such a failure. It makes no sense to me.
I know why they're doing it, because Jamie Foxx is
rope-a-doping because they're scared of the Snyderverse?
Think about it, though. Think about all the Spider-Man villains we had. Jamie Foxx is actually the biggest name. even though his character sucked. He's the biggest name they had. So they trying to make waves with this one. They trying to. I can really see them redesigning him too. They're going to redesign this character.
They cannot bring the same Electro back because it was atrocious. It was a really bad version of the character. He was completely, a villain should like kind of draw you in. You need a Ric Flair as your villain. You don't want just some throwaway character that is completely unmemorable, like Electro was, in my opinion, in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, his powers, I'm not going to lie, though. It was just the writing because his powers and his suit was really cool, but everything else sucked.
Yeah, the electric eel, it was like a disaster. So I don't know. I'm just confused by it. Although I am not excited for the MCU. I think I've definitely said this on the channel more than once. There isn't a lot coming up that has me really, really jonesing for an MCU movie, other than maybe the Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, because Sam Raimi, obviously of Spider-Man fame, is coming to direct it. I think that one could be pretty dope.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. And, that's going to kind of be like that version of Flashpoint where I really believe we're going to get like X-Men and Fantastic Four and all those type of characters pop up in that Doctor Strange movie.
If they were smart, they would bring back Tony Stark and the original Captain America back into the universe.
Yeah, but they can't though, because that's going to be so cheesy because people are not going to watch Infinity War anymore. I mean, Endgame. I mean,
who cares if they watch Endgame? They already made $1 billion.
Yeah, man, but you know how MCU always try to stay connected to their movies. How cheap would it be to bring those two back?
You just said that Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness is going to be like Flashpoint. Isn't that a resetting of the status quo?
Yeah, but that's stupid. And Robert Downey Jr. said he's never coming back anyway. He said he's never coming back ever again. Right. Now,
maybe that's when we'll finally see Hugh Jackman enter the MCU as Wolverine.
He died too. He died. You can't bring him back. Universe. Like they really set their deaths up as something epic. You had Fatal J kind of wiping a little mist from his eyes. I said mist, not tears. I was trying to wipe that away. But if they want to really do something good with Spider-Man, give us that freaking Venom and Carnage tormenting Spider-Man movie that we've been wanting. That's what they need to do.
That's what they're setting up. They're supposed to be within their Sony universe. It's so weird that it's connected, but it's disconnected. I don't know. I think bringing Electro back is a completely terrible idea, and I don't think it's going to work out well for him. But, it is a Spider-Man movie. It is in the MCU, so I'm probably completely wrong, Fatal J. We got to go on to the next subject.
Okay.
And, like I was saying earlier, you and I both like The Craft. It's a guilty pleasure. I believe it was 4 young witches back in the day. I think it was in the 90s. Yeah, it was in the late 90s movie.
Maybe early 2000s.
I think Bruza Bulk, Nev Campbell were in it. Apparently, now there's a sequel called The Craft Legacy. And these are the 3 headlines. I'd never even heard of this movie, but I went to Screen Rant. I was just looking for stuff to talk about. And here's 3 of them right in a row. They're trying to push this. How The Craft Legacy diversifies the original cast. The original's cast. Then The Craft Legacy explores sexuality more deliberately than the original movie. And then my favorite one of all, the set of The Craft Legacy was totally haunted. Does that not make you want to see this movie? Even since we both like the original, don't you want to see the sequel even more now? It was totally haunted, Fatal J.
So that's their way of promoting it. It was haunted.
It's totally haunted, man.
It was totally haunted, guys. Go and watch this film. No, I do not want to see it. The Craft, the first one, it was borderline good. Borderline good. It kept my interest a little bit, and like it kind of gave me the feeling of Tomb Raider with what's the actress name? Angelina Jolie.
I like the original Tomb Raider. That was good.
Yeah, but that's a guilty pleasure movie because that movie is not fantastic. It's not good. It's just it's all right.
It was awful, and then the reboot was really bad.
Yeah, but this movie, I mean, The Craft, it was borderline good. I had fun with it, but I don't want to see this because I know it's going to be crappy.
It's just I don't get it. Like you see the picture of apparently, I'm assuming that's the
girls.
That's the cast in the second movie. It looks just as diverse as the first movie, except in the first one of the girls was blonde.
But is that the same girls or that's their daughters or something?
Nah, yeah, these girls are much younger. I'm assuming it's loosely tied into the
but
first
this
one.
is
Like
stupid.
They find the book or something, you know?
This dumb because why is it the same four type of girls? They got the one black girl, they got the bad girl that's going to be the leader, and then they got the other two girls that look like the other ones. Why did they do that?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like they diversified the cast, is my point.
Yeah.
It just looks like a younger version of that cast.
Yeah. That's going to suck, man.
Yeah, it's going to be awful.
It was
totally haunted, Fatal J.
And then didn't the other girl go crazy at the end of the movie? So how is that going to work out if that's the same characters?
I don't think it's the same characters because it's called Legacy. I imagine it's new characters, but basically the same story. You know what I mean?
It's going to suck, and you know it, Wes. You know it.
Yeah. We totally brought this on so we could laugh because I like the craft. I'm willing to say it. I like Ready to Rumble. I like the craft. Heck, I like Tomb Raider. But this is too far for me to like. This is going to be. It just looks awful. And if this is how they're promoting the movie, if this is the depths that they have to go to promote the craft legacy, they diversify the original cast, which they haven't. Except the first cast was more diverse because there was a blonde chick. It wasn't just 3 brunettes and a black girl. And they're going to explore sexuality more. Okay, there's going to be a nude scene. And that was totally haunted.
I want to ask you this, though. Now, this is very crucial. Is the craft legacy is going to be a movie or is it going to be a TV show?
I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Oh, yeah, it's going straight to DVD.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's straight to
Maybe
DVD.
They'll release it during the COVID when no one will go there and they don't have to admit, how much money they lose.
Yeah, they know this must be a tax write-off for somebody in Hollywood or something.
That's too bad because the craft is, it's basically set up for a sequel. Probably a whole franchise on that one if you did it right.
What? No, it's not because the girl went crazy at the end and the other girl lost her powers. The other two girls lost their powers. Remember?
Yeah, but they weren't the only witches in the world.
Man, you don't remember when that girl went up to them? She said, "Do you still have your powers?"
No, I remember that part, but the book still exists.
If they would have did a craft legacy, they should have started off with that girl who still had powers.
Well, maybe they will.
And have demons and stuff fighting her and stuff. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there right now.
I don't think this is going to cut the mustard, Fatal J. Now let's get to the last topic. We are both Star Wars fans, but we basically hate Disney Star Wars, correct?
Yes, we do.
I know I do. Yeah,
I hate it with all my heart and soul.
I haven't watched any Star Wars movies since obviously the Last Jedi. I watched The Mandalorian. I thought it was okay. Not nearly as good as everyone said. The bar has been set so low for Star Wars that The Mandalorian seemed like it was spectacular. But I did like Rebels. I like that TV show.
You said you don't like Disney. Mandalorian?
I said it was all right.
But you like Rebels better?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What? Cue the Twilight Zone music.
Man, there was a lot of Star Wars lore in that. There were some stupid fill-in episodes about I don't remember the name of the droid that's in that one. That was kind of stupid. But for the most part, I thought it was like real Star Wars, whereas The Mandalorian feels like a video game.
Did you like Rogue One?
I thought Rogue One was okay. I like that everyone died at the end.
I like Rogue One too, man. That's a good one.
So the man that wrote Rogue One and Star Wars Rebels, Gary Whitta, took to Twitter and said, "Some news coming from a galaxy far, far away next week. Stay tuned." Now, do you think this is a new movie? Do you think it's a new TV show? I'm hoping it's a new TV show, and maybe we get some of the characters from Rebels in there. Maybe Ezra's in there. I would prefer that. Who's the blind Jedi?
That's who I want to see. I always wanted to see
Kanan.
a TV show.
I want to see Kanan.
Yeah, I wanted to always see a TV show with him because a lot of my hardcore Star Wars friends, they said that dude was force sensitive. So I would have wanted to see more stuff with him.
Yeah, and plus Freddie Prinze Jr. essentially is the voice actor, and he kind of looks like him. And he used to be a big deal when we were young. Remember, She's All That?
Man, I'm trying to forget about that.
It's a great movie. What are you talking about?
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Yeah, he was in some good movies.
I swear, the worst actors ever, you love them. And the worst movies, you love them.
I didn't say I love Freddie Prinze Jr. I said he was in She's All That, and that was a good movie.
Well, next, you going to tell me you like Scooby-Doo because Freddie Prinze Jr. was in there.
No, that was the death of his career and Sarah Michelle Gellar's. And
his death of his career was way before then. Matter of fact, Scooby-Doo was actually one of his highlights.
You're a fool. Scooby-Doo was awful. What is wrong with you, Fatal J? You say stuff like this, and the audience knows that you're an idiot.
That's why they always ask me to come back.
Oh my goodness! But I don't know. I'm hoping for a Kanan, like TV show, animated series, whatever. I want to see more of that character. I thought Ezra Bridger ended up being kind of too whiny in Rebels by the end, but I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. No more movies. Just cancel all the movies, make some animated shows, and do stuff like The Mandalorian. That's where I'm at with Star Wars, man.
Yeah, I'm digging Mandalorian still, though. I just hope they don't ruin it because I keep hearing Pedro Pascal is off of Mandalorian and they're going to focus on other characters like Ahsoka and Boba Fett. If they do that, Disney is putting a nail in the coffin for Star Wars for the rest of their lives.
You've never seen Pedro Pascal's face in The Mandalorian. All you have to do is get somebody with a voice similar to his.
But that's the thing, though. He wanted to do more scenes without the mask, and the people that run Lucasfilm said, no, that's not happening.
That's not what Mandalorians do.
Exactly. They don't take their mask off. That's what made the show cool and mysterious. That's why we love Darth Vader, because we didn't know who was there under the mask doing all this destructive stuff.
I'm going to be honest. I'm all for Pedro Pascal getting the fucking boot if he wants to take the helmet off. He doesn't want to be the Mandalorian.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
It's like when Jennifer Lawrence decided that even though she was Mystique, she didn't want to be blue anymore.
So you think anybody can do
fucking care?
So you think anybody can do the Mandalorian as long as they sound like Pedro Pascal?
They don't even need to sound like him. Like you have audio effects nowadays. You can just make someone sound like it.
That's true. That's true. You got a good point.
Just have Lil Wayne do it. You know what I'm
saying? I just don't want them taking his mask off. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. Give him the boot. Put somebody else that's just as tall as him, and get a voice. What is he? Fucking James Earl Jones? He doesn't have that distinctive a voice. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Replace him in a heartbeat.
His voice don't stand out to me like James Earl Jones. So you're right.
Yeah, James Earl Jones, like Hollywood royalty, just because of his voice.
Yeah, man, that's freaking Mufasa from Lion King, man.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is Hollywood royalty because he was the Viper when Game of Thrones was still good.
Oh yeah, that's when I first saw him too. You're right.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't a standout character in that either because he got killed in there by the mountain.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a standout character that got killed relatively fast. But
I mean, but he wasn't, because I'm a Game of Thrones hardcore fan. He wasn't just I need to see Pedro Pascal tonight. He wasn't like that, you know?
Viper, so you're a hardcore Game of Thrones fan. Were you excited? Were you happy with the finale?
Man, heck no.
That was one of the worst things I ever seen in my life. My wife, who's not a TV person at all, she was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I'm sorry, baby. We shouldn't have watched that."
The Battle of Winterfell, when that was going on, when I watched that episode, I thought my TV was messed up because I couldn't see. Yeah. Then I looked on the internet. People said this battle was too dark to see what was going on. I said, well, my TV not messed up.
Man, it was terrible. And nothing made sense in the end.
Nothing.
I was glad Jon killed Daenerys.
Man, you tripping. They should have kept Dany alive, man. She's a Targaryen. That's the coolest group in Game of Thrones. Freaking riding dragons all day and can live in fire.
They're crazy murderers, but Jesus Christ. The Snows are the best. Not the you gotta be saying all kinds of weird shit. The Starks are absolutely the best characters, but Jon Snow should have been the king at the end.
You know they coming out with a prequel.
Who
Game
gives
of
a
Thrones
shit? They fucked up the ending.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. That's the show today.
That's the show.
And so obviously Spider-Man 3 is going to have Electro in it. Makes no sense to me. The Craft, a movie I like and Jay likes, but it looks like the sequel is going to be a bomb because they have nothing to sell it on other than the cast is more diverse, even though it's not. It was more diverse the first time because there was a blonde in there. Otherwise, it's the same cast. And then, what was it? Oh, they're going to explore their sexuality, so they're going to get naked. And it was actually haunted, Fatal J.
That's
so
how
haunted.
they going to sell it. More sexual. Because they know it's going to suck. When you when you say that in the title, you know it's going to be bad. And ain't
it's not
nobody
the title, it's just what they're promoting on the websites with.
That's what I'm saying, though. When you got to say, oh, this is going to be more sexy than the last one, it's going to suck.
Yeah,
it's going to suck. And who's out there asking for? Who was out there asking? Man, I can't wait for the Craft sequel. Is there ever going to come out with that one? No one is asking for this show.
It's gonna be bad. And then obviously we have news coming up on the Star Wars front. I'm hoping it's a Kanan live action show or streaming. We'll see what happens in there. Jay, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the stylings of Fatal Jay and his Fatal Takes, there is a link to his YouTube channel in the video description. And there also should be an icon with this big, beautiful face on the channel right now. You can select that. Go to his channel, subscribe that way. I highly recommend it. He's a good friend of the channel. Just a great dude. Good dude.
Thank you so much for having me. And one of my tips that I'm going to give you today is never smoke in bed.
Just the tip, baby.